What's up guys, Barry here, and in today's video we're going to take a look at an effect that adds movement, space, and a glossy shimmer to your beats. You can hear artists ranging from Edge from U2 to J Dilla to honestly any popular music that you hear today. And that effect is delay. And fortunate for us, one of my favorite and one of the best plugin manufacturers, Fabfilter, recently put out Timeless 3, which is their new delay plugin. And with that said guys, let's jump into Maschine and check out Timeless 3. Alright guys, so let's give this 4-bar loop a quick listen without any delay. So similar to reverb, delay is often used as a send effect. So to set one up, you're just going to go to a new group, and on an empty pad, instead of loading up an instrument, you're going to load up an effect. And in this case, we're going to use Fabfilter's Timeless 3. So for this instance, we'll set it up to a simple 1/8 delay. And for the mix, when using send effects, you're going to push the mix to 100%, as you only want to hear that wet effect. And for organization's sake, we're going to name this pad Timeless 1/8. And now you can go ahead and start sending sounds to your send effects. So let's go ahead and use this one wood block. In order to do so, you're going to go to your channel page, followed by output, and there on your second page, you'll find your two accents. From there, you click the drop-down menu, followed by your effect, and now all you do is send as much or as little signal as you want to your effect send. Alright, cool. So before we move on to Timeless 3, I want to quickly show you guys how to do this on the hardware. So again, you're going to use an empty pad. You're going to click down on your encoder. Using knob 1, you're going to select Effect. Knob 2, you'll select your vendor. So in this case, we're going to select Fabfilter, select your plugin, and load. And you'll see 17 pages worth of parameters that you can tweak using Maschine's knobs. But for now, we'll use the default settings on this vocal chop. So on the top left, you press the channel button, followed by output, and on the second page, you'll find your two accents. From there, you use knob 1 to find your send. Knob 2, you can adjust the volume or the signal that you want to send to your effect. And if you really want to get wild, you can use your other accent for the other delay. Alright guys, now that you know how to add send effects in Maschine, let's take a deep dive into Timeless 3. So in the intro, I mentioned the Edge, who's a guitar player for U2, and conveniently enough, I have some guitars in this track. So let's go through some presets and see what we can find. Alright, so that was a guitar with no delay. Let's go through the presets to see if we can find something that will add some movement to this part. Alright, cool. So something I like to do to add more width is to pan one delay to the left and one delay to the right. So let's see what that sounds like. So that preset's called Thick, Slightly Phased Chorus. So we'll pan that all the way to the left. Let's find another preset to pan all the way to the right. Okay, that one's a little too crazy for this track. Let's see if we can find something else. This one will probably work, so let's pan this all the way to the right. And now let's add the left side. Now let's hear it in context with the entire beat. On the other end of the spectrum, I mentioned the GOAT, J Dilla, who would use delay on his hi-hats to add movement and unique patterns and rhythms to his beats. So instead of going through the presets, this time let's see if we can tweak the default setting to create something interesting. So let's change the time to 1/8, and something new that Fabfilter added to Timeless 3 are the 5 effects. So let's check out this lo-fi effect to see what it does to this hi-hat. And so that we only hear what the effect is doing, we'll turn the mix all the way up. So it sounds like the lo-fi effect is acting like a bit crusher. Let's add in some drive. And to me, drive is adding a little bit of saturation to the sound. So let's turn down the mix to hear it with the original hi-hat. So the concept of this drag and drop modulation is new to me. So let's give it a try and drag ducking to the feedback and see what happens. Alright, cool. So this seems like a great way to achieve clarity and reduce muddiness as the wet signal ducks down every time the dry signal hits. So with that said, let's listen to the hi-hats in context with a beat. So there's a reason as to why delay and reverb are often spoken to in the same breath, and that's because reverb is a form of delay, where delay is one or a couple reflections coming back to you creating an echo. Reverb is multiple reflections creating one long sound. So let's see what kind of reverb effects Timeless 3 has. Alright, cool. So with that last preset, we discovered what diffuse and pitch modulation did. Let's see if we can add diffuse to this clap sound. So that's really cool. Diffuse reverses the reflections, therefore creating a reverse echo or a reverse reverb. So what we can do is just use that effect and turn the mix all the way up, so all we hear is the reverse clap. So the last thing we'll do is we'll add some pitch modulation to get some character and interest to that uninspiring bleep. So in addition to the 5 effects that Fabfilter added to Timeless 3, they also added the ability to further mold your sound with up to 6 filters. Alright, cool. So we've used delay quite a few different ways in this beat. Let's check out the final outcome. Alright guys, so that was just a few ways that you can add movement, space, and a glossy shimmer to your beats using delay. If this video brought value to you, please consider hitting that thumbs up button, and of course, subscribe. Peace.